I've been skeptical of the battery-powered grinders launched in the last couple of years. You're adding weight, complexity, and a battery that will eventually degrade for what advantage exactly? After testing the G5 Mini, I have an answer, but it's not the one Hibrew probably wants me to give. The G5 Mini is a compact electric grinder from Hibrew, 38mm hexagonal bursts, all metal construction except for the bells, stepless adjustment, and an internal battery. It's designed for small spaces and anyone who wants a portable electric option. One spec I couldn't find anywhere: the motor runs at 100 RPM. I had to open it to find out, and that number matters more than it sounds. I'll start with the cup. For espresso, the G5 Mini gave me more clarity than my T38 Plus, a corded compact grinder that I also reviewed, link in the description. I can't say for certain whether the clarity is due to the lower RPM, the burr geometry, or both, probably both, but I think it's common sense that slower rotation tends to generate less heat and pure fineness. For pour-over, I compared against my K6. The K6 had more clarity. The G5 Mini sits between a good hand grinder and a corded electric in terms of clarity, all the three in the same price range, between $100 and $150. For me, a good value for money, but it has a cost. You could say they prioritized clarity with the lower RPM, but I think that's a byproduct. The main reason is torque. At 100 RPM, combined with the 7.4 volts, the motor has enough to avoid stalling with denser beans. A clever design if made with intention. I tested it cold starting with a medium light Ethiopia and it didn't stop. The trade-off is speed. For espresso, 15 grams took 1 minute and 8 seconds. The T38 Plus does the same in 38 seconds. For pour-over, 10 grams took 17 seconds versus 10 to 12 in the T38 Plus. 1 minute sounds slow, but in practice, the extra 30 seconds wasn't a problem for me. I adjusted my workflow so I didn't just stand there watching it. But it's worth knowing if you're coming from something faster. On the flip side, at 100 RPM, I measured 72 to 74 decibels during espresso grinding, about as loud as your washing machine on a spin cycle. The T38 Plus is 80 to 82, equivalent to a hair dryer. And my DF64 hits 87 to 89, in the range of a blender. When you brew, an espresso machine like the H10B is around 65 to 67 decibels, similar to washing machine filling up. If you, your kids, or your partner are sensitive to noise, those numbers matter. Precision is good. Between the 55 and 56 marks, I got 35.4 grams in 30 seconds versus 35.8 grams in 31 seconds. 1 second that can be further reduced since it is stepless. More than enough resolution to dial in. Total retention was 0.1 gram after a complete cleaning, so you won't contaminate your expensive beans with old grounds. One thing, when assembling for cleaning, don't lose the small pin that locks the sweeper wheel into the motor. It's super tiny and not easy to buy if you lose it. Before you buy, or not, a few things about the battery. Some portable devices have battery indicators that run optimistic until they don't. This one is accurate. It dropped 2 to 3% per dose and tracked reliably throughout. And for me, predictability matters. Second point, on a single charge, I ground 600 grams for espresso, 38 doses. That will degrade after 2 or 3 years, maybe 300 grams or 19 doses per charge, but it's still workable for most people. Maybe more importantly, I ran the numbers with ChatGPT, and the battery should handle 200 to 300 kilograms of coffee before capacity drops noticeably. At 2 kilograms a month, that's over 10 years. Something else will wear out first. I also opened the case, as I mentioned earlier, to check the motor specs, how fast it runs, but also to see how easy it is to replace the batteries. 4 Allen key screws and the case comes off. The batteries are held with foam tape and connected via a JST connector, 2 18650 cells in series, 2600 mAh each, 7.4 volts, around $15 to $20 today if you need to replace them. Doable if you are a do-it-yourselfer, but it's not a fast swap like Hibrew did with the H4C. I don't know why they didn't design it that way. Probably won't matter for most buyers given the lifespan, but worth knowing if longevity matters to you. So the battery holds up, The real question is whether a battery was the right choice for this product at all. Hibrew positions this as a portable grinder, cordless, independent of a power outlet, low effort, but I have a different view on portability. The G5 Mini weighs 1.2 kilograms, the K6 650 grams. The T38 Plus weighs circa 230 grams more with the power supply included. So what the G5 Mini saves you is the brick. For me, that's not enough. In my view, it needs to give me a real advantage over a corded version. When I travel by plane, I take the K6 and save 600 grams. If you can't hand grind for physical reasons, 230 grams more is not that much. So my honest suggestion to Hibrew is make the next version lighter and smaller. Get it down to 900 grams, even with a smaller battery or some plastic, and many people will think twice before taking a hand grinder with them. One more thing, I also tested it with the H4C. Quick correction from my earlier review, I had the support mount wrong. Done right, it's solid, thanks to the users who alerted me. But realistically, I'm not going to dial in my portable machine the day before trip. So I tried the same setting I was using in a 51mm machine, the H10B, and the shot came out a bit acidic. So if you didn't have time to dial in, and if you have a 51mm machine at home, close 2 or 3 marks from your normal setting as a starting point. But if it's still sour, I gave some tips in my Outin Nano review, all applicable to the H4C, link in the description. But this is my personal opinion. Tell me in the comments how important is a grinder to be cordless when you travel, and what's the maximum weight you would actually carry. And before I forget, Hibrew sent me this unit for review, but as you probably noticed, they had no say in my script or my conclusions. The G5 Mini is well built, compact, quiet, precise, and longevity doesn't seem to be the issue. It's very capable. I got nice shots from this grinder with more clarity than the T38 Plus for Espresso and a bit less than the K6 in Pro-Over. More clarity doesn't mean better or worse, it's just a characteristic, and in my opinion the issue here is that it should be lighter for real portability to justify going cordless over a conventional power supply that is simpler and more sustainable. If you think it meets your needs, there are links in the description with a discount code. If you buy from my links, I receive a small commission at no extra cost to you. And since we're here, I'm also starting competitions. Winners get equipment from my reviews like this G5 Mini that after a few more tests will be sent to one of you. Memberships are live now in 3 tiers starting at 99 cents a month. Entries are weighted by tier and by how long you've been a member. So joining earlier works in your favor. Other benefits and details in the description. The goal isn't a paywall. The requests keep coming, testing costs money, and this is just to offset it. If you want to support the channel, I would appreciate it. Thanks for watching and ciao!